Shalom, my friends, and welcome back to Dwarven Destruction. Remember that liaison we had last time that was following my expedition leader around and completely ignoring him, who was completely ignoring him? Well, he's actually caught up with him, and now they're actually going to start diplomacy. All I really need to do is hit A to begin, and all this really is, though, the whole diplomacy system is basically, this is what we're going to trade you, request what you want. Anything over here in the priority bar, the higher it is, the more it's going to cost you, because they're like, hey, this guy really wants this stuff, so we're going to charge you extra. Now, all you need to do is, by using the plus and minus sign to go down the type, and the left right up down to navigate the goods in the priority, you just scroll through, find exactly what you want. Since I actually forgot to look for in the previous trading, is I completely forgot that I sort of don't have an anvil and I really want one. So I'm going to have to bump up its priority. And since I still only have 2 pickaxes and I'm kind of low on ammo, I'm going to request more bolts and push up the picks, because with only 2 miners I have a lot of plans, but with only 2 of them it's going to take a little while. Now with their animals, I actually would like some dogs and cats. The reason behind this, cats is they catch vermin, which makes dwarves unhappy and happen to steal and can, on occasion, steal food and just cause a lot of unhappiness. And I wanted those cows, because with a cow and a bull, I have a breeding pair, so I can use them to begin my battle cattle force. Granted, I'll have to wait until next trade, but, might as well put that in here. And gonna need to request some rum and beer, because I don't have any, and I completely forgot what's required. Let's see what else they have to offer, because this is obviously everything they have. I'm kind of low on coke and charcoal, which is used to smelt. So while I can't use it too much just yet, I have a feeling that I am going to actually require them in a little bit, because now that I've gotten thieves and I'm starting to trade, so I'm going to start having wealth, and I didn't mean to hit enter to view my stockpile. What I need to do is start getting prepared to start melting stuff. And why do these people not have a job? I'm pretty certain I have more than enough stuff for them to do, so what exactly are they doing? Oh, and as you can see right here, I have my miner offices. Once I get a couple more dwarves, I'm going to have a manager and a bookkeeper. And they're going to be living over in that tiny area. The other area is going to be my new dormitory, because again, once I start getting more dwarves coming in, what I'm going to actually do in this area is that's going to be my new dormitory, because this is going to be my military barracks, because as you can see to the right of that, that's my ammo stockpile. Right next to that is going to be my armor, and below that will be my weapon stockpile. Granted, I'm going to need to wait until those little rocks get cleared out before I can actually turn them as such. And over there we have a dead thing. I don't quite know what the K stands for, because a kobold is a gray area. Oh, and over here is actually going to be my hospital. Once I have a military going, I'm going to need a hospital in that area to be set up, so any dwarf that gets injured will actually be dragged over there. And let me just complete my little dining room here. I'll need to add a couple more things in a little bit, but for now, that's good enough. Let's see what else we got going on here. Still got a lot of things left to be picked and cut down. And, we got a dead emu skeleton. Looks like he didn't get butchered quick enough. And yeah, that K over there is what's left of that kobold. He's still just sort of sitting there, and he's a skeleton. Not certain why they haven't dragged him over to the stockpile or made use of his bones just yet, but I'm pretty sure we'll get around to that at some point. Anyway, yep, it's still winter, so my farming is done for now. All we can really do is give them time to wait. And it's a Kia. What's a Kia? And more importantly, why isn't anyone butchering it? I mean, it's dead, it's in the stockpile. People should be butchering it so I can make use of its bones. Looks like everyone else is doing their thing. My broker, now that he doesn't have anything to trade, I turned on a lot of his farming labors, so he'll be nice and safe and do things around the fort without actually going outside. Gonna need to queue up some more beds here and some bins to store items. Let's see what else. Okay, I'm gonna need to just start queuing up a lot of these things. See, one thing I need to do is, once I actually have a manager, what the manager will be able to do is he'll actually go around to, I can assign him to create items, and he'll put in a queue and and order my dwarves to do that. And that totem there is actually the skulls of dwarves, or not dwarves, it's the skulls of animals we've butchered or have killed, and what they'll do is they'll take the skulls and make something out of them. And let's see, why is my cook not doing anything? I'm pretty sure I have more than enough stuff for him to do. Huh, actually looks like he might be a good fighter too. But let's see what we have going on here. Not certain why all these idlers are going about, but I guess we'll just queue up a couple meals, give them something to do, because when you have meals going on, obviously dwarves, what they do is they combine multiple food items to make a meal, and dwarves like it a lot more if you give them if you make a meal for them rather than. Alright, and what I'm going to do over here, see the blinking things on the left hand side by the office is actually means I've ordered my dwarves to smooth that area, which increases the room value and makes dwarves that happen to be in it a lot happier. I've actually done that to many places around my fort, because once you smooth stone, you can actually engrave it, and once you engrave it, what you can do is that you engrave it obviously with the little details, and that increases the value even more. And over here is I'm actually starting my apartments. Yes, that's pretty much what I call them. This is where my dwarves will actually start to live once I get them all. Once I start getting more dwarves, the dwarves that have yet to prove themselves will live in the dormitory. Every dwarf that I like is going to be moved over here into the apartment area. I typically like to use a 2x2 area because that's enough for a bed, a cabinet, a bed and a cabinet, and dwarves will store anything they happen to own in the cabinet and occasionally strip themselves naked. I've yet to figure out why, and just leave their clothes in there. But for now, let's see. Oh yeah, as I said, this area is going to become my second crafting area, so I'm going to start filling these out. I unfortunately messed up a little bit in designing everything, but what you're going to do. And those cairns are used to turn specific items, I believe quarry bushes and sweet pods, and turn them into either paste or powder that can be used inside food, in other food items. And oh look, my expedition leader's actually doing what he's supposed to. Took him bloody long enough. Aside from that, alright, as I said, that area is gonna become a hospital area. So what I'm gonna need to do is you need to put containers which will be used to store things such as splints, crutches, gypsum powder, and plaster inside. But once you put the coffer and make that a zone, dwarves will start moving things over to that area. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about it just yet, but I am getting everything prepared for when that will eventually happen. As for now, earlier they actually decided to milk the yak, and make cheese out of it, which was actually, and hey look, spring has arrived, and oopsie. Okay, that was me accidentally scrolling in and out. I did not actually mean to do that, so I do apologize, but I'll make a quick cut right here and be right back once I figure out how to get all that screen shaky resolved. So one sec, please. And we're back, and I do apologize about that. I'm not really certain how I got it fixed. Looks like all I need to do is pause the game, then unpause it, and it got back to normal. That's good. Again, I do sincerely apologize about that. I didn't mean to scroll up and down and cause that to happen. And while we're here, it looks like my well is actually still getting dug, and there's plenty of blood. But hey, at least the well has actually finally been completed. So this means if a dwarf actually gets injured, we have a nearby water source to be collected upon. And since I've actually been making a lot of soap, once we actually have that hospital set up, the dwarves will actually use the well to wash themselves off with the soap, as well as to help give baths to the injured dwarves, which will help reduce infection and the like. Which, again, not that important at the moment, but it will be important in a little while once I got that military. And, oh yeah, since it is the spring, looks like my farmer dwarves are off to work in spring planting these seeds for this season's crop. And everyone else is running around doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. That dwarf over there decided to just eat the plum helmet right away. And, it looks like my hunter's bringing something back. Let's see what he got. And returning kills, good, and according to this, he's completely drenched, so that's good, I guess. And, it looks like he actually killed a falcon. Or I believe it is a peregrine falcon, isn't it? Oh, we'll just hit the R button to look at it. See, by hitting the R button, you get the report of every fight that's gone on, complete with the data at the bottom. Hit enter, and we'll see what happened. That actually looks like it hurt. I mean, using the bolt, he cut off the leg, and he probably let it bleed to death, too. That is quite awful. Hey, earlier, though, the guy went over and beat a skunk to death with his crossbow, which was kind of amusing. But anyway, that's enough for now. Thank you very much for watching. Shalom, and until next time.